Pakistan's conduct as a nuclear weapon state will continue to be defined by restraint and responsibility. As we seek to ensure our national security, credible minimum deterrence remains our guiding principle. We would not like to engage in nuclear or conventional arms race in the region, nor can afford it. We believe that our region should devote its scarce resources to the socio-economic development of its people. We need a willing and constructive partner to make progress towards this objective. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's vision of a peaceful neighborhood has been the guiding principle under which Pakistan seeks peace and strategic stability in South Asia as the cornerstone of its foreign policy and considers conflict resolution as a means of achieving this objective. Ladies and gentlemen, another issue which cannot be separated from any discussion of strategic stability in South Asia relates to the membership of nuclear suppliers group for countries which are not parties to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Ambassador Naqvi mentioned the phrase he used, politics of cartels. Because these regimes entail very serious consequences for peace and stability, they should not act as cartels. We believe that the grant of, to India of country-specific waiver by NSG in 2008 neither served the cause of non-proliferation nor the objective of strategic stability in South Asia. At that point, the NSG missed an opportunity to promote simultaneous adherence to non-proliferation benchmarks as part of the package deal, which would have promoted restraint and stability in the region. That our concerns in this context were well-founded and being thoroughly corroborated by independent experts. There have been reports by many independent banks and experts which point towards rapidly growing Indian military nuclear capabilities and capacity for production of military fissile material. This was made possible by weak non-proliferation safeguards and freeing up of India's domestic fissile material resources for military purposes as a result of foreign fuel supplies for civilian use. Today, the NSG stands at crossroads once again as it considers the membership of non-NPT states. Once again, we see efforts are underway to grant another exception to India. We believe an even-handed and non-discriminatory approach by NSG at this juncture would be of far-reaching significance for strategic stability in South Asia and the global non-proliferation efforts and the credibility of NSG. Pakistan's application to participate in the NSG stands on solid grounds of technical experience, capability, and well-established commitment to nuclear safety and security. We have a complete program for harnessing peaceful uses of nuclear energy and have operated secure and safeguarded nuclear power plants for more than 42 years. Safe and sustainable civil nuclear energy is essential for Pakistan's future, energy security, and its economic development. In the end, I would like to reiterate that Pakistan remains steadfast in its commitment to improve its bilateral relations with India and building a prosperous and peaceful South Asia. This, however, necessitates that India take the path of sincere dialogue in order to resolve all the outstanding disputes in a peaceful manner. I wish you very fruitful and constructive deliberations in the over the next 2 days. Thank you very much.
For giving us good material for discussion during the day. And you have laid out the parameters of Pakistan government policy on these matters. I will take only 3 questions, unfortunately, for Tasnm Aslam to answer, because she has to go to another meeting. So I would request you to bear with me and to take the floor for your questions. Identify yourselves and be very concise. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Ali Mustafa from the Center for Security Strategy and Policy Research, University of Lahore. Ma'am, coming to a more recent topic, which directly relates to the strategic stability in South Asia and the wider region. Recently, Mr. CISS-IISS went to the Heart of Asia conference in India. Can I ask you what were the objectives of sending him to India, whereas the reports were clearly stating that ties will be quite hostile, the reception would be quite hostile. What did we end up achieving out of all of that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are difficult choices. The Heart of Asia process is about Afghanistan. It's not about Pakistan and India. And this was to demonstrate Pakistan's commitment and sincerity to all efforts aimed at bringing peace to Afghanistan, because instability in Afghanistan impacts Pakistan more than any other country, as is evident from the events of last 40 years. So we have a vested interest in peace and stability in Afghanistan. And Pakistan has been part of the Heart of Asia process, despite Indian refusal or India's scuttling of the SAARC summit, which again is a multilateral process, and despite India's claims that it is committed to promoting regional cooperation, India scuttled the SAARC summit, which was scheduled to take place in Pakistan. Not just that, it pressurized smaller countries in South Asia to also back out of their earlier commitment to attend the summit. Despite that, despite the Indian very overt hostility and efforts to discourage the participation of advisor on foreign affairs, the decision for him to go was in the context of our commitment to promoting peace and stability in Afghanistan. Countries have tensions. They manage their problems. We do not expect any state to stoop so low. That is given that we expected that despite the tensions between Pakistan and India, given the current state of relations, the visit in a multilateral context would be treated as such. Achievement, well, Pakistan was there. We were able to contribute constructively to various proposals which were about peace and stability in Afghanistan, and most of all demonstrate our commitment to peace and stability in Afghanistan, and I think we achieved that. If the purpose was to discourage Pakistan from participating and somehow hijack the Heart of Asia process, that did not happen. And you've seen how some of the other delegations reacted to how India India made an effort to turn this process into Pakistan bashing.
Next question, please. Mr. Desmond. Okay, Doctor, yeah, please identify us.
Very precisely, I'm Dr. Islana Awasi from National Defense University. We are observing this region is transforming so rapidly and fastly, and regional connectivity is also growing at a rapid pace. After Iranian and Russian ambitions to join the CPEC, UK has now also jumped into it. Are we prepared to basically accommodate all these new emerging contenders in this project that has directly giving us opportunity to the entire region and connecting the entire region with the Asia Pacific? Are we basically trying to articulate and probably introduce a new paradigm that would basically help all the South Asian regional countries to build with this, to basically engage in this particular project on economic grounds that would then resultantly help us to mitigate differences and probably proceed further on a new futuristic paradigm that is most focused towards economic, maximization of economic gains instead of focusing on defense and, other kind of,
Thank you.
paradigms.
Please.
Thank you. There are various models. We take the European model, for instance, which says that what Europe did over decades, they had territorial disputes, they had problems, but they decided to set them aside and focus on economic development, regional integration, and take the process further. Then there are approaches that we should have some modicum of normality in relations before we can proceed with the regional integration and connectivity. Pakistan has always tried to cash in its geostrategic location. We link many regions of the world, and it is in our interest that instead of our geography being a bane for us, which it has been, center of big power politics, this region, the great game, the new great game, the latest great game, we wanted to get out of that paradigm and develop good economic collaboration in this region. But for that to happen, you need at least some bare minimum conditions. We know that some countries in this region have not been, and even outside, have not been in favor of China-Pakistan economic corridor. On the other hand, we have seen that many countries in the neighborhood and afar have been interested in participating in this project. This is a project between China and Pakistan, and any decision to include countries that are interested in joining CPEC would be taken in consultation with China. But for us, we have repeatedly said that we take CPEC as a game changer for this region, which and many countries, the countries in the neighborhood and this can take advantage of this connectivity that is being created as a result of and an infrastructure that is being created as a result of the development of CPEC. So we remain open to these ideas for discussion, and naturally whatever decision is taken will be taken in consultation with China.
Thank you. I'll take a question from Mr. Desmond Bowden, who wants to ask a question.
Madam Additional Secretary, thank you very much for your talk, and we are looking to be able to hear what you have to say. I've got one question, which is in the context really not just of current tensions, but of relations, in South Asia, but particularly clearly between India and Pakistan. And that is sort of state of the dialogue, both dialogue which is, as it were, above the table, and the dialogue, if any, that might be below the table, and you might want to talk about anything below the table. But it would be helpful to understand whether there is dialogue, and clearly Mr. CISS-IISS was in India with for another purpose, but nonetheless, it would be helpful to kind of understand what either the state of dialogue is, or the prospects of that improving as time goes by.
At present, Pakistan and India unfortunately have no dialogue, no back channel, and I don't know how Ambassador can track to events that they are taking place. They continue